Starting a business is more like driving a car. You need to have the destination in mind, which is the vision. Your next step is not a business plan, but a business model. Build a minimum viable product. That's so small that you may not even need money to do it, but big enough to help you answer some of the key questions behind your assumptions. Hello, my name is Obrempong Toku Dum. Welcome to my podcast, where I share with you practical guidelines in business, leadership, and innovation. Today, I'm talking to you about the right way to start a business. Every day, I see many talented people like you who are at home without jobs or are in jobs that are poorly paid. And many of them, like you, have brilliant talents, brilliant ideas that can be shaped into big business to employ many other people and make you lots of money. However, you are not starting because you think that in starting a business, you need capital, you need cash. And so, since you don't have the money, you are not taking the first step. You have that misconception because you think starting a business is like launching a space rocket. In launching a space rocket, you have to have detailed plans right from the beginning, because every small mistake that you make at the point of launch can result in disastrous problems hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. So you need a detailed plan, specifying when the booster will come in. Everything has to be planned in detail, because once launched, you have very little chance of making changes. But that's not how business is. Starting a business is more like driving a car. When you are driving to the office, of course, you know where your office is located. However, you don't come up with detailed plans specifying how many degrees you will turn the steer to the left or to the right at this junction, how many brakes you will apply on your way to work, how much force you will apply on the brake pedal. You don't come up with all those details. All you know is the path that you are going to take and your destination. And if you are going and you see huge traffic or roadblock due to an accident, do you come back home? No, you don't come back home. You find another route to get to the destination. That's what starting a business is like. It's like driving a car. You need to have the destination in mind, which is the vision. And in business, the vision is problem facing other people, and then a solution that you will come out with, which can be a product or a service that can be used to solve the problem. And the more number of people facing the same problem and the more pressing the problem is to them, the better. So the first step in starting a business is to come out with a vision, a destination in mind. It can either be a product or a service. And once you have the vision and you have understood the problem and you are sure that your solution, your vision can help them solve that problem, the next step is not a business plan, but a business model. A business model has 9 key components, and this model captures your vision on just one sheet of paper. The business model canvas is right there on the screen. It has 9 key components. I like to always start with the value proposition, and that's where you should start with, especially when you are starting from scratch. The value proposition covers the product or the service, the vision you have. What are you going to produce? Have it in detail. Every product or service should have 3 key components. We'll talk about that in other videos. You ask yourself, what are they going to use it for? The job to be done by the customers. And what pain is it going to relieve them of? Most of the time, you come up with a problem that the customers are aware or they are trying to solve, or they even have a solution, but you have seen a problem with the current solution, and they have a pain in using that solution. So talk about what pain your product is going to get rid of. And next to ask yourself, what other benefit are you going to deliver to those people who are helping them solve that problem? Once you are done with a value proposition, you come up with detailed description of the customer in the customer segment, their age group, their gender, their religion, their beliefs, their aspirations, everything in detail. And channel, which is how are you going to get your product or your service to these customers that you have identified. And once you have completed the business model, the next step is not to take an Excel sheet and come up with how much money you can earn. The next step is to build a minimum viable product. Because you have to know, irrespective of how smart you are, your business model will have a lot of assumptions behind it. and you don't want to invest all your money or other people's money in something with a lot of unproven assumptions. So come up with minimum viable product. That is a portion of your vision that's so small that you may not even need money to do it, but big enough to help you answer some of the key questions behind your assumptions. There are two of them that you need to test as soon as possible. The first one is the value hypothesis. That is, are people going to find my product or my service valuable such that they'll be willing to pay, use, and also recommend to their friends? You can't get an accurate answer when you ask that, hey, this is what I have in mind. Will it help you solve your problem? Will you value it? Will you use it? You may not get a good answer because people are very polite and sometimes they hate to tell you the truth in your face. They will tell very nice things. Yes, people will find this valuable, they will buy, they will recommend to their friends. No. Build a small product and use it to get an answer to this question. The small product can even be a video demonstration. It can even be a PowerPoint presentation. It could be anything, something so small. When I was about to start my first business, I discovered that parents wanted an interactive way to engage their children at home after school. So I had a vision to build an educational software that will use animations and cartoons to teach the school subjects in an interactive and engaging way. What I did was I bought one tablet and used just simple PowerPoint to design a mock-up and just did one video, just one lesson, and then build the interactivity around that one lesson. And then I tried to sell it to parents. After receiving 1,000 orders, I realized, yes, parents will find this valuable. That's the only time I built a team of content creators, software developers, marketers to build the software, a tablet, and so to many, many parents. After answering the value hypothesis, the next question that you should answer as soon as possible using your minimum viable product is the growth hypothesis, that there will be more people to buy your product so that you can have a big business. That's when you go on to start the business. I believe in you. I know you have passion, talent, and brand idea that can be shaped into big business to make you lots of money and employ many other people. But you think you need a lot of money? No. What you need is to find problem facing other people and have a vision, a solution, which is either a product or a service that will help those people solve that problem. Complete the business model. Spread out your vision on the business model canvas. Build the minimum viable product that will help you answer two key assumptions or questions behind your vision. And once you are able to do that, the last step is to get feedback. What aspect of the business model canvas would you want me to shed more light on? Sharing is my biggest motivation. So don't forget to share the show, subscribe to be part of the Business Creators Movement. I'll see you in the next episode.